Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this Dell G3 3579. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to use a JIS 1 screwdriver and remove all the screws from the bottom. You want to keep them in order because they can be different size, shape, and length. The way I do that, I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So let's go ahead and do that. It looks like somebody actually undid these screws, so it's already popping out. So these back two screws seem to hold themselves in place, and the reason for that is it helps create a little gap there to help you pry the case out. So at least that's what I think it's there for. Alright, anyways, it does help with that, so let's go ahead and continue removing all the screws. If this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, so this one's missing a screw down there. But anyways, you can see we can pull this up slightly. Okay, so you can see it's forming a gap. And usually what I do is I get my fingernails in the little gap there, and then I kind of push with my thumb on the back while I pull up with my fingernails. And you can see it's popping all those clips up. So we're going to go around the whole edge and continue doing that. Okay, and if you're wondering, I'm just going between the little gap there, okay, where it connects. Okay, so we're just going to continue going around, and there we go. Alright, so I don't know if it would normally be that easy because it looks like somebody might have opened this before, but anyways, there we go. We got the bottom cover off. Okay, you can see it's a bit dusty. I'm probably going to have to clean that up. The customer says that their computer is not turning on at all. I'm wondering if the charge port is kind of getting pushed in. Let me see now that the case is out of the way, if I plug it in, if it's going to charge up. But I can see that they replaced the RAM. That looks like aftermarket. I don't know why they didn't upgrade the SSD or the hard drive, but yeah. Alright, so plug the charger in, and let's see if we got any luck. Push the power button, and nothing is happening. Okay, nothing is happening. So what we're gonna do, I guess let me get a screenshot here real quick for the thumbnail, and then I'll kind of just go over the internal components here. We're gonna disconnect the battery and the CMOS BIOS battery just to see. But yeah, alright, let's get a closer look here. Battery, we're gonna replace or remove first. Let me move these screws out of the way a little bit here. Okay, I need more desk space, or I need to get junk off. I have too much junk on my desk. Alright, anyways, the battery here model is 33YDH. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. 33YDH. Okay, anyways, we're gonna go ahead and disconnect this battery or remove it. Let's see what we gotta do. We got screws here. So we got this screw. We're gonna remove that one. Okay, we got this screw here in this corner. Okay, and then we got these 3 screws down here. Okay, and the last one over here. Let me zoom out a tiny bit. Okay, so there we go. Let's see how we can lift this battery up. So we're just going to lift it. It looks like there's adhesive here for some reason. We're going to peel that out. And this battery is actually plugged in that way. That's a very weird way to plug in the battery. I think the customer told me they disconnected the battery and plugged it in to see what would happen. But anyways, we're going to pull this out. If you can, I like to use the wings, but this one doesn't seem to have one. So I'm going to just pinch as close as I can to the connector and kind of just wiggle it side to side as I pull. And there we go, we got the battery connector out. This is a very weird way to connect the battery. I don't know why they use such a long connector to do this, but yeah, alright, so that's what they did. There's the battery. Also, this connector is removable. Same thing, you can grab this and kind of just wiggle and pull it out. Again, if you can get the wings, you can do that, but it looks like on this you can't really do that. So you'd basically just grab this and pull that out. Okay, so I'm going to plug it back in. We're going to leave it there. If you replace the battery, you're probably going to need that. Alright, so let me see here now. We're going to open this thing up, and we're going to plug it in again without the battery and see if there's any change. Okay, and power button. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Okay, so I'm probably not going to clean the dust out of this if it's going to be completely dead, but Let's see. All right, we got the CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery. It's a normal CR2032. The way I get that out, I just use a flathead screwdriver. If you want to be extra safe, you can use a plastic tool or whatever. But basically, you go in this gap here. Let me zoom in for you. You see, go in here, and then you push it this way, and then lift it up. So you push it that way, and then you lift it, and there we go. We got the battery out. Okay, then what I like to do to try and make sure the BIOS resets, I'm going to basically short these two pins together. So you can see they have this little gap here so you can have access. But basically you touch those pins and then you touch these pins, and I'm going to use the two screwdriver tips to kind of just touch them together. So that way it kind of drains the power, it basically cycles power through without the battery there. Okay, so that's how you would short out the CMOS. It's basically like on the desktop where you use the jumper to clear the CMOS, except for that you can basically leave the battery in there when you do it. Okay, this one you don't want to do that if the battery's still in there. Alright, next thing we're going to do, oops, you don't need to zoom out that far. We're going to open up the laptop and we're going to press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds to drain any more residual power and see if that helps with anything else. Okay, so give me a bit. Oops, I have my other customer here picking up stuff. Okay, so it's already been more than 15 seconds, so let's plug this in and see if anything happens, alright? Okay, so we're gonna plug this guy in and see if anything changes, right? Nothing at all. Nope. Let me check the voltage of the battery. I already checked the voltage of the charger and it's okay. But we're going to check the battery. It's usually supposed to be over 3 volts, so let's see. 3.03, okay. So we should be okay with that. CMOS BIOS battery should be fine. Alright, we're going to put that back in. We got it plugged in still. Let's go ahead and see if we power it up again, if anything happens. And no. Alright, give me a second. I'm going to return a computer to a customer and I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's close this up and then let's just go ahead and take a look at the other internal components because it looks like this is actually a motherboard issue. Okay, let's see here. You got the power button on a separate connection here. Alright, plugs in right there. There's a flip latch to remove these. These are called ZIF connectors or zero insertion force. Alright, you got this one for, where's that? Looks like LCD, yeah. Oh, it does go up there. Okay, so that's the LCD LVDS connector. Very important. Remove the plug, remove the battery, open the laptop, press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds before you mess with this cable. There's a lot of times where people will pull this out, and if it goes slightly crooked or doesn't go out like straight back quickly, a very good chance you're going to burn something from arcing or damage the backlight circuit or your screen, so be very careful with that. Okay, I've had a lot of people that told me they tried replacing their screens and then damaged their thing and it wouldn't light up. Anyways, you got the hard drive here, 2.5-inch SATA hard drive. There's a connector here. You can flip that latch up and take it out. They actually even show a picture here. And then there's screws holding this bracket down here and here. Also JAS1. Then you can lift this up, take the screws out from the side. You can swap this thing out. There's the SATA connector here. This one you have to pull off the drive this way. Okay, what else? You got the, what's this connector for? I'm not too sure what this connector is for, this big one here. You got the trackpad connector here. Keyboard backlight connector, keyboard connector. Let me actually see if I can pop this. Oh, actually I know what this is for. This cable goes to this board for the USB port, SD card slot, and if there's something else here, I don't think so. So it's for this, the power button, this and that. So if this cable is damaged, those things won't work. So maybe let me actually pull this out and then put it back. Sometimes that might help with something. But I don't see a charge indicator light or anything coming on, so I don't know. Why is this cable so difficult to get out? Come on, there we go. Okay, it looks fine. There's the I/O connector, right? Input, output. Right, we'll get that back in. Flip that latch back down. Anyways, you got a M.2. This is a M.2 SATA. I would assume it supports M.2 PCIe NVMe, but it doesn't because it's a M.2 SATA right here. The notch is on this side. I don't know what that means. You can try a M.2 PCIe NVMe. If you do, make sure you have a good return policy just in case it doesn't work. But I would assume if they have a SATA drive here, it doesn't make sense to put a SATA SSD like that. You can put a M.2 PCIe NVMe. It will be a lot faster. Right? You got one speaker. You got the speaker connector here. Speakers here. It runs along a cable for the other one right there. All right. 2 fans, both with separate connections. CPU, GPU is soldered to the motherboard. This is the GPU and this is the CPU. They're both soldered to the motherboard. Wireless card here with a little plastic bracket. There's one screw. Take it out. It pops up slightly at an angle. You can slide this bracket off and pull it out. Not really much else to show in here. Okay, you do have the RAM. So this looks like upgraded RAM. I'm going to just pop these out and just check them. This is 8 gigs DDR4 2666, so any PC4 2666V should work. Alright, we're going to get this back in, click that back in, pop that out, and we'll just get that back in. Sometimes the connectors have a little corrosion that make it not connect properly, so sometimes that might help. Alright, anyways, not really much else to look at in here. Let's put the battery back in. Again, this battery is very weird. We're going to have to connect it like this. Okay. Okay, and then you got to kind of like push it in, but you want to make sure you're pushing the plastic part of the connector, not the cables, because if you damage these cables, that's not going to be good. I don't know if they did something with that and damaged the cable, and because I can't see internally, sometimes that could happen, and then maybe the connector shorted inside, so it's possible that might be what's wrong, but I don't know. Alright, anyways, we're going to go ahead and get these screws back in, again using the JAS1 screwdriver. And yeah, let's go ahead and get all these screws back in. So I'll let them know there's a M.2 SATA SSD, M.2, and then also a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive. So if they need to recover data, basically it could be on 2 different drives. Okay. So we'll just get all these screws back in, put it back together, and I'll ask them if they want to have the motherboard tested or not. But for now, we're just going to put this back. Alright. So I don't do motherboard like tiny little capacitors and stuff repairs like that. I just do like larger component repairs. So anyways, we're going to get these screws back in. It doesn't look like the... Oh, actually, it did screw in. Okay, so I don't know why they didn't screw these screws back in. I guess they probably saw the screws were already there and assumed they were in. Okay, but anyways, we're just going to get all this back, and that's pretty much it. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others, leave a comment because YouTube likes that, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, if it helped you save a bunch of money, if I didn't already mention, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. And that's pretty much it. You're welcome to stay as I get the last of these screws back in. I'm gonna see. Oh, that's why I was confused. One goes down there. I am gonna see if it does anything when I plug it in now with the battery and everything inside, but I'm pretty sure it's not gonna do anything. But yeah, other than that, we're good to go. All right, let's get this. And for those that are probably going to comment on my fingernails, I mean, I use them as tools, but right now, yes, they are longer than they need to be, so I need to trim them in a bit. Anyways, let's go ahead and see. Nothing is happening. There's no indicator lights or anything. So this light should light up, but nothing is happening. So definitely motherboard issue. All right, that's it. I'll see you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.